Hello lovelies, I'm Christina. Long time no see. There's been a few months now where I haven't wrapped up anything when it comes to reading. There are several reasons for that, but one of them is that I haven't really been reading that much. But today I am gonna wrap up February, March and April for you guys, but it won't be that long. First up, I reread a book, and that is The Gunslinger by Stephen King. Now, Emily Cait does this read-along where she reads all of the books in the Dark Tower series. I really wanted to participate in the project, and I started off with reading The Gunslinger together with the Goodreads group, but I fell off the wagon after that because of personal reasons and other stuff, so I haven't gone through with the project after The Gunslinger. But nonetheless, going back to The Gunslinger was a really enjoyable experience, and I've missed this world so much. I saw the movie trailer last night. I had goosebumps all over. I can't wait to see the final results of the movie. I know it's not going to be the same as the series, but it does look like they've really captured the essence of Rowan and Jake and the Man in Black. And I gotta say, I am loving Matthew McConaughey as the Man in Black so far. Very excited. As this was a reread, I ended up giving The Gunslinger 4 stars. I think I gave it 5 stars the first time around, but I'm giving it 4 stars this time around just because I know that the books just get better as long as they go. And even though I really enjoy The Gunslinger and find it to be a really incredible book, it just doesn't have the depth and amazing storyline as the rest of the Dark Tower novels have. I will link to the trailer down below as well, so you can go watch it if you haven't already. I really recommend that you do, no matter if you've read the books or not. Now, the next book I read was one for my Exploring Erotica project, which I will have a new video up on very soon. And that book was Amorous Woman by Donna George Story. This is the story of a woman who goes to Japan and explores life there through work and relationships and sex, and it's really interesting. I will talk more in detail about it in my next Exploring Erotica episode, so keep an eye out for that. I ended up giving Amorous Woman 5 out of 5 stars. Very enjoyable. The next one that I listened to was one on Audible, and that was Salt to the Sea by Ruta. Is it Sepetys or Sepetys? I'm not sure. Salt to the Sea is an historical fiction novel set during the end of World War II, and I don't want to say much about the plot. It follows multiple perspectives, and it is a really interesting story inspired by true events. So if you do like historical fiction set during World War II and you want to see kind of a different story than one you've maybe heard before or read before, then I do recommend you go check out Salt to the Sea. Salt to the Sea, I ended up giving 4 stars. It was really interesting. I felt that I could have maybe connected a bit more with the characters, but for some reason I didn't, and that's why it ended up being a 4-star instead of a 5-star experience. Next up, I also read Stealing Fire: How Silicon Valley, the Navy SEALs, and Maverick Scientists Are Revolutionizing the Way We Live and Work by Jamie Wheal and Stephen Kotler. I have a separate review of this one. I will link it right up here so you can go check that out if you want to. Stealing Fire is all about the research about flow states, and it is really interesting, and I highly recommend that you go check my review out. And if you find that to be interesting and it sounds like something you'd like, then I definitely recommend that you go get it. It makes for a really good audiobook. I listened to it on Audible and it just blew me away. I ended up giving it 5 stars. I also listened to The Power of Habit: Why We Do What We Do in Life and Business by Charles Duhigg. This also is a really interesting nonfiction book about habits and how we make habit loops and what happens in our brains when we have certain habits and we try to break them. Super interesting, and highly recommend that as well. I ended up giving that 4 stars. Next up, we have Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This is one that I've been recommended quite a lot of times, and for some reason I just haven't picked it up until now. I ended up ordering it on Audible and listening to it while I was working, and it is just filled with 80s and pop culture, games, books, music, movies. So anyone who is an 80s child or who loves 80s, anything 80s pop culture will love this book. I can easily see how this could not be your cup of tea if that doesn't interest you at all, because the book is pretty much filled with it. It is set in the future where most people are plugged into this virtual reality world and live there. The creator of this virtual world has made a quest for them to go on, and the one who gets to the end and finds Holiday's Easter egg will win his entire fortune. And so this turns out to be a really dramatic and interesting and thrilling story, packed full of 80s pop culture. I had so much fun with this, and even though I had really high expectations, I enjoyed it even more than I expected. And once again, Wil Wheaton as a narrator on audiobooks is just fantastic. He does such an amazing job. And at the point where Wil Wheaton mentioned Wil Wheaton in Ready Player One, that had me giggling like a super nerd. But it was so much fun and I enjoyed it so much, and it ended up being a 5-star book for me. Next up, I have a Norwegian book that was sent to me for review by the publisher, and that is Tinderella by Heidi Natalia Hovland. Okay, first off, I really don't like this cover. I think it just looks horrendous. Sorry, I really don't like it. So it started off pretty bad there, but then I thought, okay, this is a story about a young woman who's gonna tell about her weird experiences going on Tinder dates. And I think, okay, I can relate to that. So I read it and I absolutely hated it. I'm going to do a full Norwegian review of this on my Norwegian channel, which has been pretty much offline for a long while, but I'm bringing it back to life now that I have time to actually invest in it. But this was just a huge disappointment. The characters were so flat. The storyline had, like, there wasn't really anything happening. And the fact that the author talks about wanting to write about the dirtbags she meets on Tinder and ends up writing a character who's actually more of a dirtbag than the dates she goes on. There was no character development in this. It was just a cry for attention and I did not like it. It's one of the very few books that I've ended up giving a 1 star, and the only reason why I actually finished it instead of just putting it down was because I was hoping for something interesting to happen in the end. I was hoping for some kind of character development going on there, but there was none. And the final book that I want to mention, The 5-Second Rule by Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is a coach, and the 5-second rule is really easy. The premise of it is that whenever you have a hunch about something, if there's something you want to do, you have about 5 seconds before your brain starts to argument why you shouldn't do it. So when you ever feel like there's something you want to do, then you have to count back 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you have to physically move and just do it. It is so simple, but it's not easy, as she says, but it is changing my life. Currently, I am getting up at 5:45 every morning. I do yoga, I meditate, I do my gratitude journaling before 7 o'clock, and I get so much more done. This is slowly but surely really changing my life, and I highly recommend that you check it out. I ended up giving it 5 stars, and I'm really excited. If you can't tell, it makes me really excited to talk about it, and I'm telling about this to all of my friends and all of my colleagues and just trying to get them to listen to it because I think it's so great. But okay, I'm gonna let you make up your own mind about it if you want to. Links to all the books will be down in the box below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to follow me on social media. I do post pretty regularly on Snapchat and Instagram. Twitter, not so much, I'm afraid. I never really got into Twitter. I'm trying, but so far it's not really my thing. I have to run off to work. It feels so good to be back, to be in front of the camera. I've been out vlogging a lot too, so there will be new vlogs coming up pretty soon, as well as some really creative and interesting projects, so keep a lookout for that. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video soon. Goodbye!